This is the 49 Carats Prospect Spotlight. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the 49 Carats Prospect Spotlight, where you get a chance to learn more about NFL draft hopefuls. I'm Steph Sanchez, and I'm excited today to have Houston center Jack Freeman with me. Jack, how you doing?
I am awesome. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me, Steph.
Yeah, anytime, of course. And thank you for coming on, because I know I'm eating into your relaxation time. So definitely appreciate you making the time. But yeah, with that, let's just get it right into the questions. Jack, I know your time at Houston, it's been a hell of a ride, and knowing that it's all happened in your home state, close to family, has made it all better. When you look back on your time at Houston, what are you most proud of?
I would say I'm most proud of being a captain. My last year, because I remember I think it was 2019, I told my strength coach, they were comparing me to like some of the other guys that they weren't too fond with at the time. But, we had our end of the year meetings, and this is 2019. And he was like, what's your biggest goal here at UH? And I was like, honestly, like obviously win a conference championship, go to New Year's Six Bowl, that kind of stuff. But personally, I want to become a captain, because you're getting all the guys looking up to you, and like the coaches being like, all right, this guy's not only a guy, but he's a good team player. He's a good person that guys can look up to, can go talk to about whatever. So I think that's probably my biggest accomplishment at UH.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you about that. And it's big because it comes from your own teammates, right? Usually it's your own teammates who vote that in for you. So I'm sure that meant a lot. And it isn't surprising to me, that in the locker room you're seen as a leader. I mean, the offensive line has a lot of responsibility, in particular the center, right? And so what's your comfort level in setting protections? Is that something you had to do a lot of in your time at Houston?
Yeah, throughout so we had two offensive line coaches, well, I guess three, since I was there. And my freshman year I didn't play, but then going in my sophomore year till the year before last year, we had a coach who ended up going to Mizzou, so I had another coach for my last year. But yeah, they always like had the center doing the protections. But it's a little different between the two. But for the most part, I'm identifying the Mike linebacker. I'm telling who to block what, and like where the guys go, with where the slide is, where the man side is. And normally sometimes it's the quarterback, but yeah, I was pretty much the quarterback of the O-line.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. And you mentioned, having to deal with a lot of different offensive line coaches throughout your time at Houston. And you've also, had some different quarterbacks as well. So Clayton Tune was a quarterback you started most games with. Of course, he was drafted last season. And so you went into your final season with a new quarterback, Donovan Smith. I know how important continuity and chemistry is with offensive line. And maybe no more, like there isn't anything more important than the relationship between a center and a quarterback, right? Yeah. So what was the process of getting familiar with Donovan and just, making sure you guys were on the same page?
Well, it's funny because at first, for like the first month when he got to UH, I didn't talk to him, and I don't know, I think this is kind of wrong on my part, because Donovan's one of my best friends now. But I didn't talk to him. He came from Texas Tech. He beat us the previous year in overtime. So, there was some animosity there. But, he gets there and just, I hear like, oh, he has the receivers over at his house. I'm like, well, why isn't he having me over at his house? Just like you said, the center and the quarterback supposed to be really close. So I didn't talk to him for like the first month. And then one of our recruiting guys came over to me. He was like, hey, how do you like Donovan? And I was like, well, I don't know. I haven't really talked to him. I don't really think much of him right now. So then, I don't know. It's just one day we ended up hitting it off. We just hung out, and I was like, all right, I definitely judged a book by its cover. So I love Donovan so much. And, not only a great person, but a great football player as well.
And as far as, the timing of everything, the cadence of everything, like how did you kind of adjust through that? And how do you kind of plan to take that experience with you to the next level? Because, you'll be playing with a new quarterback then too.
Right. I mean, everybody's different. Everybody has a different cadence. And I mean, it was a little bit different than Clayton. Take a little bit getting used to, but I'm thankful that he got there in spring. So we had spring ball together, and I was able to, pretty much get it down within the first week. So it's not really that different, but I mean, there is some differences between quarterbacks, but for the most part, it really wasn't that difficult.
Okay, well, that's great to hear. And, this off season, last month, actually, you got to participate in the Hoola Bowl. Congrats on getting that invite.
Thank you.
How did it feel for one to get that invite, and how do you feel like that week went for you?
Oh, I mean, that was really a dream come true. At first I wasn't really sure if I was able to go officially. And then, Damon actually texted my mom, and, she, like, he was wanting her to tell me that I got the invite. And, she was crying and really proud of me. And so, I mean, I got like chills running through my body whenever I got that call. So that was awesome. So thank you, Damon, for that. And, just the whole experience, just meeting all the different guys from, all over the country, and going to all these different universities, and just meeting a bunch of great people. So I got to talk to a lot of scouts, got to talk to a lot of coaches, get some new techniques that I'm able to teach younger guys who I train right now. I get to teach them those things that I learned at the Hoola Bowl. And then also, I'm assuming that you knew about the Joe Roth Award. So I had no idea I was getting nominated for that. Damon was the one that
That's
actually
awesome.
nominated me for that. So, I'm just sitting there with all my guys at the table, and I'm just like, the speakers up there talking about the Joe Roth Award nominee, and I just hear my name, and I'm just like, wait, what? Like the chills that I felt whenever I got that call that I got the invite to the Hula Bowl times 10.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah.
mean that's huge for you. I'm definitely like congrats on that as well. And you said it like it's also just a huge opportunity as well to get in front of scouts. And I assume you've had the chance to speak with some teams already. Have there been any conversations that have stood out to you so far?
Oh, for sure. I mean, the 49ers definitely stood out to me. There was some other teams, but the 49ers, they were one of the few teams that definitely stood out for sure. Um,
And I mean, I'm definitely excited to hear that, man. But you also have another opportunity to showcase your skills coming up, right? Your pro day. And so when is your pro day?
my pro day is actually in the Frisco Star this year. They're doing the Big 12 pro day, so it's March.
Oh, there
Mine
you
is March
go.
30th.
Yes.
I think the other guys, it's like March 27th or 8th, and then 9th. So yeah, the big guys is on March 30th, and I believe it should be televised on NFL Network.
Yeah, that's so fascinating, like how they're doing that new format. Like, I know you wouldn't have anything to really compare it to, but like, what are your thoughts on the new format? Are you, on board with it? You think it's good?
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be night and day different. I really do, because essentially it's a smaller combine,
Yeah.
And I'm surprised. I was actually talking to one of the guys I played with last night. He's still at UH, but he's over here thinking that I'm going back to UH for the pro day, and I was like, dude, I'm going to be in Frisco. Like, it's the Big 12 pro day now. And I was like, it's going to be like better for you that um, it's a Big 12 pro day, because it's going to have all the scouts
Yeah.
there. Like,
Mhm.
it's sponsored by Noble, which is the sponsor of the combine. Um, I mean, I think it's a great idea. I'm surprised that not all conferences have something like that.
I think it's gonna be probably something that a lot of them will end up adopting, like,
Yeah.
as it goes on. But yeah, that should be definitely a huge opportunity. You mentioned, the combine. Yeah, I do think it'll be a mini combine, but seeing the NFL combine happen last weekend and seeing how other centers, tested, does that give you some extra juice to want to beat some of those times and some of those measurables?
Yeah, I mean, without a question, it definitely does. It gives me motivation. I'm coming off. So I just had a medial meniscus scope back in early January, and I did rehab throughout that process, and now I'm like 100% back. So I'm over here getting my numbers, and I did my first few testings, and I'm like, shoot, I'm already right there with all the guys. So I still have a few weeks left and to improve. So I mean, that's definitely a lot of motivation for me, and just wanted to perform the best I can.
And I saw last you were listed at 300 pounds. Are you still at 300? Like, what's your goal weight through this process?
I'm like around like I fluctuate between like 300 to 302. I just kind of go back and forth, but I'm pretty sure that's the weight I'll be at in the NFL. I think it's a good solid weight for myself, and I'm able to move well. I can run block well. Just anything you ask me to do, I'm gonna do it well. That's just my personal opinion, though.
Yeah, I mean, if you feel like you can move around and you can move that weight around and still have the same strength, still have the same speed, I mean, that's the ideal weight for you. You know your body more than anyone else will, so yeah, for sure. And you have your offensive line mate, tackle Patrick Paul going through this process with you as well. Have you guys been keeping in touch through this process? Maybe exchanging advice in the lead up to the draft and you guys' pro day?
Oh yeah, I mean, he's like my brother. Like ever since he got to college at UH, we've always pushed each other. We were always in the weight room, doing extra stuff, and then in the indoor, whatever we could do to be able to do extra stuff, we were gonna do it. And you know, I'm glad that he got to go do the combine, and he put up crazy numbers. But yeah, I mean, he told me a lot of stuff that I need to try and fix and work on, that they look for at the combine. And because those guys, those coaches, if you go in there, if you run in there and they say put your head on the X, and your head is not on the X, it's right to the left or
Yeah,
right, they're going to yell at you. And that's some of the things that he told me to make sure I don't do. And
yeah.
I mean, yeah, we've always been able to push each other, and give each other advice, whether it's on the field or off the field. He's literally my brother, and I love that kid. And I hope the best for him. I know he's going to do awesome, whatever team he goes to. And I know that the 49ers actually like him a lot. So I don't know. We might be ended up back together.
It seems like they like the Houston guys. Just just saying, there's something going on there that they like. So definitely bodes well for the both of you. And I know you mentioned like there's some things that Patrick tells you, some pointers leading up to the combine, but maybe what are some of those things? What are some the things that you personally maybe want to work on, and what are some things that maybe teams have told you they want to see from your game?
Mainly, I think that the main thing they want to see me is being able to just stop the bull rush. And a lot of that has to do with just putting on some weight, putting on some muscle. And the run blocking wise, I say, taking on the one-on-one base blocking, just me and the guy in front of me. And along with that, that has to do with just getting stronger, putting on some weight, which is what I've been doing. And I'm excited to see what happens here in those rookie camps. So
Yeah,
looking
it'll
forward to
be
it.
exciting. It'll be exciting for sure. Look, I saw in another interview you did, you said you'd compare your game to Jason Kelsey. And I mean, obviously that's huge. Like Kelsey is like one of the best to ever do it at his position. What is it about Kelsey that you try to emulate in your game?
I'd say just his quickness, just his knowledge for the game, getting out in open space. That if you tell me I'm on a screen block, I'm licking my chops. I cannot wait to get out there. I can't wait to
Love
zone block, to outside zone block, whatever it is. As if it's going lateral, you count me in. Not saying
I
that
love
inside I'm not counting out, but like if I'm getting out in space, yeah, I'm licking my chops. I'm ready. It's on.
Yeah, I mean, as a setter, you don't get those opportunities often, but when they come, I mean, it sounds like you can really move. So, Jack, I know your mom means a lot to you. No, she's been a big source of your motivation. How does it feel knowing that that motivation now has you on the doorstep of the NFL?
I just like her, I just can't stop. I've come this far. I've come this far. It's been a dream of mine since I was 4 years old. My first word was ball. So I think it's meant to be for me to be able to play football. But just like her, I just can't stop. Just she deals with her chemo treatments. My dad takes care of her. He's her rock. And, being able to look up to two amazing parents, and one parent having to deal with what she has to deal with, and not stop fighting and continue, just keep on going. That motivates me to do exactly what I'm doing, because, we're blessed. We just don't understand how blessed we are. There's kids out there who want to be able to, be in our shoes. And, there's kids out there who are paralyzed or just can't walk. And, the list goes on. And I'm just like, I would think about that walking out to practice. I'm like, wow, like I'm so blessed to be here. I'm so blessed to be able to walk, to be able to run, to be able to play the game I love. And,
Yeah.
it could always be a lot worse. So, that's a lot of motivation for me.
It's definitely important to, to have that perspective. It really, makes everything else seem so much smaller, right? And, I'm sure your mom's very proud of you and what you've been able to accomplish thus far, and what you're going to accomplish as well. But Jack, I always end my interviews with this question. What is a team? What is a fan base getting with Jack Freeman, both on and off the field?
So both on and off the field, I think that the team and fan base is not only getting um, a team player. I know it's cliche, but a team player. But I don't see myself as being an individual. I want to do anything that's best for the team. If they want me to be in one position, I'm going to do it right away. I'm going to be the first and last one to leave. I'm going to want to at any place that I go to. I'm going to want to give back to the community. That's a big part of me. Coming back to Midlothian, I wanted to give back a little bit of my, little NIL deals that I got. I gave some money back to some small nonprofit organizations. So I think that's something that I want to do. Anywhere I go, I want to give back to charity, give back to kids with disabilities, give back to, underprivileged kids. So just making sure that I'm able to give back whatever I'm able to, receive. I want to give back that much more. So, and along with the fan base, I'm always going to be wanting to be the first one to sign any autographs. If anybody wants to come up to me, take pictures of me, I'm going to be the first one to do that. Never say no, because that was me at one time too.
I love it, man, and I know that a team and a fan base would definitely love and appreciate that as well. Jack, this has been awesome, man. I really enjoyed talking to you, getting to know you a little bit better here, and I mean, best of luck, man. These next few months, and obviously beyond that as well. Going to be tuning in to that Big 12 Pro Day and rooting for you. So just best of luck with everything.
Thank you so much, Steph. It's been a pleasure. Seriously, I'm so happy you reached out to me. I really am.
I'm so happy you're here. So yeah. And yeah, for everyone that tuned in, make sure you guys like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, because there will be plenty more prospect spotlights just like this one. But for now, have a good rest of your Thursday, folks. Peace.